Hello, this is Marcus Washington, MTC Media. One of the things that can crush a business is bad leadership and toxic culture. And that's something that in this capitalistic system that we have that drives people out of offices, it dims talent, it kills energy, it does all of those things. So there's a price to pay for those companies that have those sort of cultures. It's hard to keep good people. It's hard to be innovative. It's hard to be creative. It's hard to move on to the next mechanism to maximize profits. There's a penalty for the incompetence in the culture that you've built. And the penalty lies in the financial side of it. Unfortunately, the NFL is not the same. You can be poorly run. You can be a terrible culture. And there is no financial penalty for that. It's why we are where we are with Bryce Young. Bryce Young is the victim of what we see in businesses across the United States. That when you don't cultivate an environment that allows people to achieve, the environment to allow people to grow, generally there's the price to be paid. And so with Dave Tepper, there is no price to be paid because the NFL can't get rid of the owner and the player can't leave. Now, to be honest with you, in that draft, and I do have receipts for this, Bryce Young was the one that I was least confident was going to survive in this league. I was never a big fan of Bryce Young on this level. I can understand what he did in college. But watching what has happened and the gross incompetence by the Carolina Panthers makes me think that there has not been a chance for Bryce Young to prove people like me wrong. In the right environment, maybe Bryce Young says, oh, no. People like that Marcus Washington, gosh, they're not right. They got this all messed up. But he's not going to have that opportunity in Carolina. And they continue to mess it up strictly because of ownership. Ownership ownership pushed him on a coaching staff that didn't want him. Ownership now, changing the coaching staff to a coaching staff that's supposed to develop him now going to week 3 that's going to bench him. This is the RG3 thing all over again with Jay Gruden. I mean, it really, really is. It's the RG3 thing in Washington with Jay Gruden all over again. And there's no penalty for it. So in that sense, I feel awful for Bryce Young. I feel awful for his situation. And it just goes to show you, especially in the NFL, man, if the difference between achieving what you can achieve individually and team-wise, sometimes it's out of your control. Because sometimes you're just at the whim of who drafts you. Think about Pat Mahomes. Great quarterback, could in his career, the best quarterback that ever lived in the NFL. You don't think that it helped that he went to a stable environment that, by the way, was already doing a certain level of winning with Alex Smith and then with Andy Reid? You don't think that didn't help? And I'm not saying it's solely because of that, but what it was an environment for Pat Mahomes to realize how good he could be. And Bryce Young, just like RG3 in the past here in Washington, just like a myriad of Raiders quarterbacks or Cardinals quarterbacks or Bears quarterbacks, were never in an environment that allowed them to realize their potential. And in that sense, I really do feel bad for Bryce Young. It's Marcus Washington, MTC Media.